My name's Nick, and welcome to the Painter's Mess. So in today's video, I'm going to go over motivation and what keeps us motivated and what doesn't, and how to get through maybe some painter's slumps or some hobbyist slumps during this kind of season that we have going on. So please join me and let's go make a mess. So I want to start off and say, as of today, this moment, it has been a full month since I posted a video. And the reason being is I've had no motivation to do anything in relation to the hobby. Now, there are some hobby goals that I want and some goals for this channel, like eventually becoming a YouTube partner, having 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, all that fun stuff. And to do this on a regular basis because it's enjoyable, but that doesn't make it easy and it doesn't make life easy. So as of right now, the last video I posted was on December 12th. It is now currently January 12th. So that is literally a full month since I've even recorded. No, let me rephrase that. It's been a full month since I've posted a video. Now I did make a video pretty much about the same topic, motivation, and I never published it. I fully edited it and put it up on YouTube, but I never published it. And the reason being is I didn't find that I liked the video. I didn't find that it really wanted to emphasize what I wanted to say. And I think the little bits of hobby that I put in the video just weren't enough, and they didn't really emphasize and create good content that I wanted to publish out to the public. And for that being, I'm pretty hard on myself as far as like I want to make something that's good, and I like to do things very well. So I reviewed that video multiple times and I just didn't like it. So with that, I didn't post it. And that's why I'm making this video now. So I'm going to be talking about a few things that I talked about in that video that obviously I never posted, so you wouldn't know about. But I also wanted to relay why I haven't posted in a while and kind of where I've been in my hobby journey, as well as, it's the season of doing things that you might not want to do, visiting family or traveling or whatever. And now, of course, we have snow and fire everywhere in this country. So yeah, let's get into it. So I want to start off and say that I did do my 30K Apocalypse game back in November, and I'm putting up that footage now. All I did was record the beginning so you could see all three of the Warlord Titans and all of the tanks and infantry and dreadnoughts that we posted or put on the table, and it was a great time. It was a lot of fun, and that was really giving me my motivation initially on doing things for the hobby, doing things for my army. And that is where it kind of died off that after I was done. So the event was over. I no longer had the drive or need to do anything else in the hobby, and which is why it's been a little bit since I've really posted any videos. The next thing that you can obviously see is I have rearranged my hobby room, and I think I did get two big lights for Christmas, which was really nice of my family to do. So now that I have a better setup for lighting, I should be able to make better content, hopefully, and figure out how all of this works. So I have rearranged it, and that was also something that I did to kind of reset my motivation. And unfortunately, it still didn't, and that's okay. I reset the room, I changed some things. I had a little bit of motivation to do that because I did it all on like a single Saturday. I got it all done, and then I stopped. And I was like, okay, cool, I did it. I accomplished the one task that I put in front of me, and then I lost all motivation again to continue on. Now, that is how it happens for many of us, that we set a single task. We're like, all right, we got to get this done. We got to do this. And we do it at work too, or at school. We got to do this test. We got to do this project, whatever. And then as soon as you're done with it, you're just like, the endorphins are done. You got the hey, it's accomplished, it's finished. And then you're just like, I don't want to do shit. Oh, I don't know if I can say that. I don't want to do anything for the rest of the time. And that's exactly what happens in this hobby. So that's exactly what happened to me. And then I had an abrupt to another small Apocalypse game on the 1st of January, the new year. It was a lot of fun. Again, I wasn't really ready for it. I wasn't planning for it, so I didn't prepare for it. I didn't get that spark of inspiration to go forward and work on my stuff because I wasn't really, it was just so abrupt. It was very ad hoc. And since then, I still haven't had really any motivation to do anything. So I still go to the store on Thursdays, but I've played maybe one game, and I've mostly just walked around, watched people play. I even sat this past Thursday and hobbied just a little bit, but I had no motivation to do so. I sat there and did it because I knew I needed to, and my friends were there doing it, so I joined them. And that's kind of one of the points that I want to get across is that I want to make is do your hobbying with your friends. And if you don't have friends, go to your local game store and hang out, and maybe you'll make some. But do your hobbying with your friends because they will push you to hobby more. There's always the saying, misery loves company, but it's not misery when you actually are having fun, having discussions. It's camaraderie loves company. And that extra little bit of motivation between you and your friends is probably going to push you to do at least a little bit of hobbying and maybe give you that spark that you need to continue on. Another thing that can give you inspiration is obviously following, say, Warhammer Community or the Warhammer website, watching all of these new releases that are coming out. So like Death Korps of Krieg is coming out next week. It's on pre-order as of yesterday. That's pretty exciting. I've always wanted a Death Korps army, but 30k militia sucks. So I don't have any desire to make it, but I want one. So I have a little desire, but not to play, at least in regards to 30k. So I don't really have that need to get that army box, but I do want it at some point. And I was looking at maybe a Zone Mortalis militia team with Death Korps, which might be something that I do in the future, but it kind of just depends. Anyway, the point is, looking at the Warhammer community website, watching all these previews and things that they're going to release soon. Obviously, they cut back this year, and that kind of ruined a lot of people's motivation to hobby, or at least in my opinion, it did, because things weren't coming out. So you're kind of in this limbo of, do I work on the things that I have, or do I kit bash something that I've always wanted to do? Or maybe you just took a break from the hobby because it's Christmas and New Year's and you were traveling and all that other stuff. So obviously finding Warhammer community, following Warhammer community, maybe going onto Cults 3D and looking at different kind of resin prints. And obviously you'd have to know kind of what you're looking for, but if you're looking for sci-fi genre, search sci-fi. If you're looking for fantasy, search fantasy. Maybe you want to paint an elf ranger and you're looking at different display models, or maybe you're looking at something else, and maybe you're playing D&D with your friends. You can always look at Cults and look at things that could potentially be bought and 3D printed, or you can also search Etsy, or you can search many companies online and just see if there's anything that catches your eye that you want to paint. Maybe go on to Kickstarter and look at old Kickstarters if you are looking for things that are already funded and potentially available, and if not, maybe fund something with that extra Christmas money that you got. There's so many ways and so many avenues that you can find maybe a spark of motivation to help you get through this holiday season. So that comes to my next point. Other things that might give you motivation are magazines, or maybe books. So reading your Black Library books, or reading a fantasy novel that you might like, or a sci-fi novel, or maybe just a fiction or nonfiction model. Maybe you want to get into the historical war games and you're looking at history stuff. I don't know. It seems pretty cool to me. I also saw a giant train set somewhere and I was like, wow, that's awesome. I would love to just build a giant train set, although I have nowhere to put it, so I would probably never do it. But it would be really cool. So you have books. For me, I'm currently working through the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. I'm on book 5, and I know that there is a miniature painter named Elle Firespray who paints all of the Stormlight Archive characters, and she does a phenomenal job, and that makes me want to paint one of them, or at least get them on display, because I am in love with the books, and that kind of is giving me a little bit of motivation. I just have to find the STLs, or find the files, or find the minis that I can buy and print or whatever and paint them, because I like the characters. But that also leads into video games. So if you are a video game player, like many of us are, you probably play either a first-person shooter, an RPG, or a cozy game. Those are probably one of the 3 things that you play. And all of those can give you motivation. So for me, I have been enjoying playing Darktide with the new update that came out with the Mastery of the Weapons. It's a lot of fun. I like Darktide, and that is in the Warhammer realm, so it should give me motivation. But to be honest, it really hasn't. And that's okay, because I just like playing the game. I like shooting and killing things, and it's a lot of fun. I've also been playing a little bit of some MMOs and getting into that, and those are all fantasy based usually, and that also gives me a little bit of motivation, again, more to play the game, but unfortunately not for the hobby. But it can. It just depends on who you are as a person, and does that give you motivation to paint. And one of the last things you can do for motivation is, first of all, you can look on social media, you can look on Instagram and Reddit, and you can look at posts and watch all these people that are accomplishing their goals, and that's awesome. That's amazing. And it's also, it can either be a motivator or a demoralizer. It's one or the other. For me, Instagram has been a demoralizer. And every time I go on Instagram, I'm seeing people accomplish all of these wonderful works of art, and I feel that I am being left behind. And that's not at any fault of theirs. It's at my fault because, 1, I'm not hobbying, and 2, I'm watching all this content, but I'm not creating anything with my own hands. I'm not painting, I'm not building, I'm not doing anything. And it's not a bad thing, but it's not bad that I'm not doing those things. But it is bad that I'm comparing myself to others and being in that demoralized state, when all I should do is put the phone away, put the social media away, and sit at my desk and paint something. It doesn't matter what it is, just pick something up and paint. But from my perspective, if I'm not doing anything with that model that I'm painting, why am I going to paint? And that's kind of where you need to kind of dig in deep to your subconscious and be like, well, you might not play right now, but you could play later. Or maybe it'll be a display model, or maybe it's something I want to practice as far as if I want to practice a specific technique. And hopefully that leads you to a little bit of motivation. But either way, don't be too hard on yourself if you're not motivated during this holiday season, as Christmas winds down, New Year's winds down, and we start going into the new year. Let's set hobby goals and try to accomplish them. And I know that you have a whole year to do it, but that year goes by very quick. So for that, I'm going to go over what my hobby goals are, and maybe, hopefully, I can accomplish some of those this year. For now, I'm going to go over my hobby goals for 2025, and yeah, follow along. And if you've made it this far, great. And hopefully we can create some hobby goals together. Okay, let's go to the desk. All right, so let's go over my 2025 hobby goals. So the first one is, let's talk about finishing armies. Now, I don't really plan on adding anything. I don't plan on adding anything, of course, but as things come out this year, I might be adding new characters or tanks to my Death Guard and Blood Angels army, and possibly my Custodes army as I start to build that up more. So as far as finishing armies, I want to paint these. I'm talking about building and painting the rest of these. So Death Guard, 30k army, Blood Angels, 30k, and Custodes, 30k. Those are my three main 30k armies that I currently have enough to play a full game with. So I want to actually finish painting all of that so it's complete. I guess I say that, but I'm also missing my knights. I made a video about my knights, and I have probably 8 knights over there to include armigers and stuff like that. I also want to finish those off. So as far as finishing armies, I want these to be fully painted and built, ready to play whenever I want on my local game store nights. The other thing I have a large collection of is demons. I have some bloodletters and a couple corn demons, but I also have a lot of Nurgle demons because I love Death Guard and Nurgle, and that's just my thing. So if I could have a 30k demon army, that would also be a lot of fun to have complete. And again, most of my models have at least a base coat and a prime and a base coat and maybe a little bit of other color. I want to finish all of that, and I want them to be ready to play whenever I want, so that I can focus on doing things like making more content, doing specific kit bashes, or working on the new releases that come out as the year progresses. So specifically for this channel and for you guys as viewers. So the other thing I haven't done is I have not played a game of 40k of the new edition. I think maybe I played one right when it came out, but it was very long ago, and I know that there's a new edition probably coming out either this year or next year, because of how they're rotating. So if I could, I would love to finish my Death Guard 40k army and play at least 2 games. I think that's pretty fair. I just want to finish the army. I have Mortarion, I have a bunch of demons and Plague Marines that I want to finish, and if I can finish those and have that fully painted, again, playing a couple games would be pretty sweet. So let's add that to the list. And with that, let's add Age of Sigmar. I had bought the Flesh Tearers box, Flesh Eaters. And then I've painted like 1 or 2 models of that, but let's finish and build and paint and play 2 games of Age of Sigmar. And I haven't played Age of Sigmar for a long time, so that would be really cool. Surprisingly, I'm actually more of a fantasy-based fan, and unfortunately nothing really catches my eye when it comes to Age of Sigmar, but I do like things that are gross and dead and stuff like that. So maybe the Flesh Eaters I can work on and hopefully play a game of Age of Sigmar. And the other thing I want to do is I want to play more Kill Team. So with that, I have a few kill teams that I need to finish. I have the Kroot, the Death Corps of Krieg, some custom Space Marines, Space Marine Death Guard. And I'll show you how I've made those in another video. I have the Tempestus Aquilans and the Vespids, because I have the kill team box. Orcs would be pretty cool, and the Halflings, I don't remember what they're called, but I just know that they're Halflings. Those would be pretty sweet to have as well. So that would be something I would have to pick up at some point. I'm not too worried about this, but I do want to play more kill team. So I want to play at least 2 games again in this year sometime. Now, I do have some models to build and paint still, that will be added to here somewhere. But one is Bellicor. The other one's Angron. And this is the 40k model. I have a Damon Prince, one of the new ones that I haven't built, and I haven't figured out which version I want to build of him, but maybe I will at some point this year. And then I have the Malignant. It's not the Putrefier. It's the Death Guard terrain piece. It's like a smelter thing. I don't know. It's on my shelf. And things that would be fun to do. Now, I know that Deathcore and the Militia for 30k is not good, but I would like to have a Deathcore of Krieg army. And maybe picking up those 2 boxes, or 2 of the army boxes would fill out most of that, because I've kind of built a little bit of it. I think that would be a lot of fun. Or maybe a Renegade army. That would be also really cool. I know that there are a lot of 3D STLs for this, and that would be a lot of fun to do a full Renegade army as a video. And I think I would really enjoy just having it, because I think it'd be a lot of fun. I would like to paint 2 Primarchs or characters for 30k. So maybe Valdor, because I have Custodes, and maybe I don't know. I've already painted Mortarion and I've already painted Sanguinius, so maybe something else. So we'll see on this one. And then I would like to custom create a Sisters of Silence 30k allied attachment, just to add to my Custodes. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And then non-GW, I do have Kingdom Death, and I would love to build and play a game of this. Play 1 game of Kingdom Death. Obviously, build and paint. That would be a lot of fun. The other thing is I have creature casters models. I have a few of them. I think I have 2 dragons, a demon, and then a few of the smaller ones. And those would also be fun to paint, build and paint at some point. And maybe I can do that at some point this year. I don't know if I would be able to do it before Resin Beast, although that would be pretty sweet. And if I did, I would work on this demon piece. So I do have a couple months. I might try to do this and submit, because one of my other goals is to submit for painting competition at least twice. So these are my hobby goals. I think many of this is doable. I think this is going to be a chunk of my time, as well as making content. But I think that I could do this, and I want to do this. And as I go through this, as I've made this video, because this is pretty much all just me talking. I want this to be a thing, and I want this to give me motivation, and writing it all out actually does give me a little bit of motivation. So if you haven't written out your hobby goals, I recommend it. It really should give you a little bit of motivation, and give you kind of a clear view of what you want to accomplish this year. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. And I just want to put on some of my goals for this channel. And you know what? I'll just put it right here. Channel goals. So my 2025 channel goals. YouTube partner. I think this would be amazing to achieve. It shouldn't be that difficult, but it really is. And with motivation, this is the hardest part, because you have to be consistent. And I think I want to do this. I want to do this a lot. And hopefully this leads to that kind of event in my life. The next thing I really want to do is I want to build a couple STLs that will benefit the community. I like 3D design. I'm I did it in high school and I want to pick it back up and do some really cool things. So I think this is also something I really want to do. And maybe I can either post it on Cults. I've already made a video on something that I've made, and it's posted on Cults. You can check it out right here. And I want to make more. I want to do more things that will benefit the community at large. So this is my hobby goals. Let me know what you think, and maybe list down some of your hobby goals, and if they coincide with mine or they might give somebody else some inspiration, that would be awesome. Put it in the comments below, because that would really, I think listing out hobby goals for everybody is motivation. It can give you motivation to keep going. So yeah, please list out your hobby goals, and yeah, let us know in the comments. So with that, I'm going to edit this very briefly and put only a few things in it. This is literally 30 minutes of me just talking. So if you've made it this far and you found this maybe inspirational or motivational, let me know in the comments. Like always, thank you for your time and your patience. And if you like this kind of content, or if you are interested in what I might make as the year goes on, like and subscribe, and hopefully this video sees the light of day. And yeah, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Have a good one, and in the meantime, go make a mess.